It's going to take, I'd like to let this reduce down just a little bit more. So maybe tell you about some of the really cool and beautiful places that we get to go with the catering company. This last weekend we discovered a brand new place that we hadn't been before, summer solstice. There's a place called the Redwood Hills Garden just between Sebastopol and Occidental. And it is a beautiful hillside in the Redwoods. And we did a wedding for just 40 people. And it was just absolutely stupendous. If anybody here is out there, I do have a blog. It's blog.sonomacaterers.com. And I'm often throwing up little pictures of locations that we've been. And in the slower months when I get to have a lot of fun and be cooking and testing recipes, I get a lot of those out there too. Right now I'm doing more, site visits and plate presentations and things like that than the actual creation of the dishes. So, got it. Now, I still would like this to reduce down a little bit more, but for a time, I'm going to go ahead and add it. Now, if you were using a roux, a flour and butter roux, you would want to add a warm liquid to the cold roux, or vice versa, a warm roux to a cold liquid. With this, I can do this directly over the boiling heat. The key thing I'm going to need to be concerned with is this flour has not been cooked at all. So this sauce is going to take 2 to 3 minutes to cook so that we get that raw flour flavor out of it. And you can see I've just got to whisk quickly. And the sauce that you'll see on the short ribs that we'll be tasting is quite a bit darker, and that's because of the reduction down of this liquid. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull one of the short ribs out of the pan here and show you with a knife. This is how tender these should be when you pull them out of the oven. Absolutely butter tender. Now this product is really awesome for a lot of things. To me, this reminds me of my mom's pot roast. Just that fall off the meat. So if you want to do a really good pot roast dinner, you've got it there. Also, if you want to do something like beef bourguignon or beef stroganoff, you can cook these short ribs just as we have and then cut them into smaller pieces. And for beef stroganoff, you want to add some sauteed mushrooms, sauteed onions, your brown sauce, and just a touch of sour cream. Beef stroganoff. Beef bourguignon, the classic French dish, you want to do very similar, but you're going to add in some of the little pearl onions and the mushrooms and just a touch of tomato paste. But this one cut of meat can do all of that for you. And you can see here how the nice thickness that we have on the sauce here. The last item that we're going to add is white truffle oil. This is available at all of your gourmet food stores. They take the white truffles, thinly shave them, and then store them in olive oil so that it can be taken and strained later to be made into the sauce. If I could get a sample cup from the vinegar booth, I could put some of this in a cup so people could pass it around and smell it. Could we do that? Do we have one coming? A sample cup, a couple of them from the vinegar booth so we can pass this around and smell it. Let me see if it's there. This will be the expensive portion. The nice thing about the short ribs, this is an extremely inexpensive cut of meat. We're talking less than, on sale you can get it less than $2 a pound, but I know you can get it less than $3. Costco does carry it. So it's a very nice and inexpensive cut of meat to get, but when you dress it up this way, it's just absolutely tremendous. Oh, she must have gone. Well, I will put it in a little dish here, and as everybody comes up later for a taste, you can take a sniff. And then that is the basic preparation of the dish. You would just add the sauce back in, or the short ribs back into the sauce. And my favorite service of this is on good old-fashioned mashed potatoes, and that's what we'll be sampling next. Anybody have any questions?
Why don't you just use chuck roast?
The short ribs have a slightly better texture, and the little bit more fat makes them stay more tender. And the chuck roast with the bone and everything in it, in catering's a hard cut of meat to use because I have to be able to cut it and have exact size portions.
question is, we advertise grass-fed beef. Does that have marbling?
The marbling is quite a bit less, and so you need to be carefuler in the cooking of it because it can overcook fairly easily.
Do they ever give it any corn?
I don't know. I'm not with the company. I would suspect if that's...
I was born on a farm.
Yeah, they're all completely, you know, open range. So I believe they probably have enough grass to nibble out there that they probably don't do corn around here. And corn's not the staple here for the cattle as it is in the Midwest.
No, we would just feed it when we were getting ready to kill them.
To add a little bit more weight.
Well, no, to give it more flavor.
Oh, you got it. And now let me go ahead and pull the product out so we can see it. We'll start plating some up for everybody. That's at $2.25. We've got it on your menu there at $2.50 for 6 to 8 hours. It happens to be the perfect amount of time that we leave them in the oven all night. The last person goes home and the first person comes in, and so that's why we do it for the 10-hour shift. Because I can't, at the catering company, can't tie one of my ovens up for the whole entire day. And by the magic of catering, we're ready to serve. So thank you everybody for coming today, and I hope everybody will come up and grab a quick taste of everything.